Hey everybody, this is The Truth Hurts. I'm dropping another vid. With all that's going on in the world, I felt it was apropos for us to talk about fear. I personally believe fear is one of our biggest detractors and most potent enemies. So with that being said, let's get to this. Fear, an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that something or someone is dangerous or a threat. The first mention of fear in the Bible is Adam explaining to the Most High why he was hiding from him. Genesis chapter 3, verse 10. Adam says, "I was afraid because I was naked." The Hebrew word for afraid in this instance is yareh, or revere, to dread. This type of fear has to do with respect or shame, as in when you let your parent down. The type of fear I'm talking about is a little different. I'm talking about the fear or stress we have in dealing with things beyond our control. The fear of disease, the fear of global catastrophes, the fear of terrorists, usually unreasonable fears. The Most High didn't give us the spirit of fear. Those type of fears come from the enemy. The fear of a lion chasing you is a healthy fear. The fear of a parent disciplining you is a reasonable fear. The fear I'm most concerned with is the fear caused by unscrupulous leaders using fear as a control mechanism. Personally, for me, this type of fear usually signals my having a spiritual disconnect with the Most High. So when our faith and understanding is strong, we're fearless. Zechariah the prophet, John the Baptist, Stephen, James, and more lost their lives for what they stood for. That's fearless. We of course know Yeshua made the ultimate sacrifice. I'm attempting to show that when your spirit is right, fear cannot touch you. We have to understand how we have been manipulated by fear. Fear that has changed the historical landscape from the very beginning. You had religious tyranny in the form of the Crusades and Inquisition, slavery and wars. Financial fears with them crashing the stock market. Social fears with guns, gangs, and terrorism. Medical fears with disease and pandemics. This is not the first pandemic. You had the Black Plague, leprosy, smallpox, Spanish flu, and on and on. The point is, fear is the favorite tool of the enemy. Now, to understand what fear is, fear came in the world back in the garden with the knowledge of good and evil. With the spirit of death, you're going to get the spirit of fear. Most people don't understand the physiological damage fear does to us. And that's important. Fear weakens the immune system, can cause cardiovascular damage, gastrointestinal issues, and even decrease fertility. It increases the rate of aging, causes premature death. Fear slows down functions not needed for survival, so your digestive system and fertility and immune systems go first. Fear increases blood flow to the muscles for a fight or flight response. This affects the heart. But in this paradigm, we live in a constant state of fear. Now, when you're living under chronic or constant fear, it impacts all those areas and more. But we're purposely kept in a constant state of fear. Our news cycles keep us in fear. The medical community, politics with their propaganda, and of course, the ever-present financial fear. This shit is done with a shrewd regularity. Chronic fear affects the memory. It impairs the formation of long-term memories and causes damage to certain parts of the brain, such as the hippocampus. To someone in constant fear, the world looks like a dangerous place, and their memory confirms it. Fear interrupts processes in our brain that allow us to regulate our emotions. This impacts our thinking and decision making in a negative way, leaving us susceptible to intense emotions and impulsive behaviors. Long-term consequences such as fatigue, clinical depression, and PTSD can be linked to chronic fear. To say the world's mental health is suffering is an understatement. Now, stress, which is a byproduct of fear, is the number one culprit in most of our health issues. Fear causes stress. So obviously, constant fear causes constant stress. And we all know stress is a you know what. Headaches, depression, heartburn, insomnia, high blood sugar, stomach aches, erectile dysfunction, missed periods, low sex drive, fertility, muscle tension can all be linked to stress. The medical community knows this. It's how they make their money. Stress is their bread and butter. But on the spiritual level, the enemy knows this and attempts to keep you stressed out. Also, you gotta know it's very difficult to learn, grow, and become when you're stressed all the time. Those parts of the brain are impaired as the hypothalamus prepares for the flight or fight by ordering your adrenaline glands to release cortisol. Cortisol causes headaches, backaches, insomnia, weight gain, and fatigue when you're producing too much. Our life expectancy should be 120 years. But this system we live in has automatically cut 50 years off. This constant state of fear is the number one cause. The Most High did not give you the spirit of fear. So whatever is causing this fear has to be opposed to the Most High. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love. And we all know Psalm 23:1-6. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Fear proves we're not so certain about the Most High's words. And that's an issue. This, to me, is one of the biggest causes of our problems, our lack of faith. 2 Timothy 1:7. For God gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. Psalm 34:4. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. The Bible mentions being afraid or fear over 200 times. So it's obvious fear was a concern. Not just our physical, not just our mental, but it also affects the spiritual. How can one properly commune with and pray to the Most High in fear? Your fear or reverence should be for the Most High, and that's it. Matthew 10:28. And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Whenever you feel the spirit of fear creeping in, read Psalm 27:1-14. It'll remind you. Fear is a corrupter. It causes hatred and jealousy. If we can overcome our fears through Yeshua, we take a step closer to the Most High. We have to do it. We cannot skirt around this one. We gotta love each other and have no fear. And wipe your tears. And remember 1 John 4:4. Little children, you are from the Most High and have overcome them. For he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. Believe that. Peace.